So, good morning everybody. We now begin week 3 since the Easter break, and we continue doing our homeschooling and working from home and staying at home. Maybe this Thursday we'll have an idea for the first time about what things might look like in terms of returning to school, if that's even possible, and how it may work. During this last week, I've been giving lots of time over to thinking about you all, and just wondering how things are and whether you've been able to do some of your work, or whether you've been inventing things and coming up with new things, like I said last week, and also just about how you're coping and how you're finding things. And each one of you is in my thoughts as we spend this time away from each other. And I just wanted you to know that it's not just me, but all the people at the school are thinking about all of you and just what you might be up to and what challenges you might be facing and how you will be trying to do your best. So as usual, let's start by saying good morning to everybody. Good morning to reception, to year 1, to year 2, to all of you in year 3, year 4, year 5 and year 6. I hope that it is truly a lovely morning wherever you are, or whatever time of day that you are downloading this to have a listen to. So good morning and welcome everybody. Now, last week I was talking about my television. I've been mentioning the Life Education Bus wheel, the mindful wheel, and this week we really have had to concentrate on lots of mindful moments. I still have no part for my television, so I haven't been able to fix it just yet. So I've noticed that this week we've been spending a lot of time listening to music, lots and lots of different music. What we've also discovered in our mindful moments while we've been doing that is that if you have an Alexa or something similar, then there's something on there where you can play the pointless game. And we have found that this has become quite a bit of a favourite each day to start it up and have a go at playing the pointless game, which has kept us entertained, challenged, and sometimes very frustrated where we can't always find the best answer. But it is these things that are going to keep us going, and we have to keep reminding ourselves about all the different things that we can try to do each day and over the week, and help us to try and stay enthusiastic and to try and stay hopeful that everything is going to be okay, that we are doing our best, and we are going to make it work as best as we can. Now, as usual, it has been brilliant to see all the different work that has been sent in, all the different things that you've been up to, whether it's been making cookies, I think that's Oreo cookies up there in the corner, people making little postcards and owls and doing their artwork, making castles, or as down here in the bottom corner, we've had people having a go at making fossils, and I think that's using all sorts of different materials that they have found in their home. It is amazing to see how creative and imaginative you can be, and trying to put together some of the work that the teachers are sending out to you. And also adding in your own things, like I said last week. Absolutely important that we find ways to keep our brains working, our minds occupied, and keep that learning going in some way. So absolutely fantastic to see a range of work. There has been so much work coming in this week. It's been almost impossible for me to be able to put everything on display into this assembly. So it is a bit of a snapshot. There is far more work I know going into the teachers via the email system, and there's a lot of work being put up online on Twitter. So if you want to see all of it, you'll need to follow us on Twitter to see all the different posts that are being put up there. We've also had fantastic maths. It looks like hopscotch maths in the garden. The children who were in last week were making bookmarks. There's the rabbit one up there in the middle of the screen. Someone sent in their writing, which is brilliant because it's all about the story of Hansel and Gretel, and they've done their own reworking of that story. Over on the far left, we've got the toilet roll man, which is brilliant. I'm guessing now that the shortage of toilet rolls is over, that it's safe to say that There's some good hoarding going on there, but it's been put to good effect as well in their design that they have made. And then there's this lovely bit down in the bottom corner here on the right where children have been taking our best motto and have been putting into instructions all the different rules and values that they are going to try and follow at home. So again, what a wonderful array of different things that you have all been doing. And it's been wonderful to see them being posted. And then it looks like we've had some of our younger ones now being online. We've got castles, we've got more things to do with Purple Mash and the different creative ways that you've been working on it. So well done to all of you for sending in that work and for doing that work in the first place. It really is marvellous to see it all. I think these two down in the bottom right here have had their tent out or something, and I know that that was a thing to do a couple of weeks ago, so maybe some of you have been outdoors putting your tents up, having a go at sleeping out in your gardens. Maybe not quite so much last week. The rain and the weather hasn't helped us, but maybe as the sun comes back, that's something that you will all be trying to have a go at. What is wonderful is to see all your smiling faces. What is wonderful is to see you having a go at doing your best. And what is even better than that is that you have then been able to share those things with us. And it is really, truly magnificent when we see everything that you've been doing. So don't stop, keep sending them, because it really does bring a smile to our faces. Now, over the weekend, it's been my son's birthday. And we had to try and do our best to make this work as best as we could. Couldn't get a cake, so my wife has set about making one, as you can see there. And we were trying to make sure that we did all the things off the Life Education bus wheel, making sure that we were trying to stay connected, that we were sure that we were doing all our thank yous, and trying to be as kind as we could to each other, and trying to stay as healthily as we can be in our heads and our minds, as well as trying to celebrate our son's birthday. So we were having a very thoughtful weekend. And I think that's the value that I want to think about this week. It's not brave, not enthusiastic, not safe, but thoughtful. Thinking about how we can be thoughtful in our behaviour towards each other and in the things that we say to each other as well. You know that I've often said to you that there are very small words that we use, but they mean a lot and they have a big impact. We know that one of those is please, we know that one of those is sorry, and we know that one of those is thank you. Those words become really important, and they mean a lot when we say them. And so I want us to think about our thoughtful behaviour and our thoughtful actions this week, and really focus on the different things we can do to be kind and caring and to look after each other as this week commences. Now, if you haven't seen this, Action for Happiness have put this together, and they've called it the Meaningful May Calendar. And actually what's really important is there's a lovely, lovely phrase up here by Arthur Ashe that says, start where you are, which for all of us is being in our homes. Use what you have, which means find the things that we have in our houses, but also it means use what we have within us. Use what we have within our characters and who we are as people, and use those skills and those words that we all have. And then do what you can. Do what you can. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's not trying to be the absolute best that you can be. This is about saying, I'll do what I can. And that means sometimes we'll get it wrong and we will make mistakes. But I can do the things that will make a difference. I can say the little things about being sorry. I can do the little things about saying please. And I can do the little things about saying thank you. And those things are going to be really important as we stay in our homes and we spend lots of time with the same people over and over again. So please have a think about it. Now, today, Monday the 4th, is very much focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do. And that is going to be really important. We know there are many things that we can't do at the moment, things that mean staying in our homes, that we cannot go outside and do the things that we would normally do. But we can find our way around it. Most of you have probably been following Joe or pace setters, and you've been finding a way to exercise. Even Joe hasn't been able to do that because he ended up in hospital at the weekend. He's okay now, but he's found that he's got to work with the things that he can do, and not necessarily the things that he wants to do. So this calendar is going to be really useful, and I will attach it and send it all out to your parents so that they can print it off and use it with you over the coming month, because I think this acts as a really lovely guide for the way that we have to try and be over the next month or so. Now, another thoughtful thing that has taken place, and I know some of you may well have already seen this, is that the adults at the school have put a little video together of messages to all of you. And I know that this has been emailed out to your parents, so if they haven't had a chance to show it to you, then make sure you ask them and say, please check your email, because I think there's a link on there to all the teachers and the adults at school sending a message to you. And this is their way of showing you how thoughtful and caring they are trying to be at this time as well, and how much they're thinking of you, and how much they want you to stay safe. So if you get a chance, pop along and have a look at the video, and you will maybe see an adult there that you know sending you a message of hope and being thoughtful and being kind, and also hoping that you stay safe. And that brings me to what would have been this Friday. This Friday would have been a bank holiday. Normally we would have had it today, but it was moved because it marks what we call VE Day, which stands for Victory in Europe. And this is the day on which the Allied forces finally and formally announced the surrender of Germany. When Germany finally surrendered at the end of World War II, and that brought the end of World War II to a close. And it was this weekend that that signing would have taken place, and everyone then celebrated the war being over. And you might want to take some time to look it up. Maybe you can do some searching about it, or you can ask someone in your home all about World War II. I know that our Year 3 and 4s always study this. It's been a large part of what we've always studied at school for a long time now, where you learn about evacuees and the war that was going on. But this one is a celebration, and it's also a time where we can remember and be very thoughtful to the people who took part in that, and what it meant for them, and the things that they had to do, the things they had to give up, and the way they had to try and work with what they had then, and do the things that they could make happen, that they were still in control of, and to turn around and make their life work in the best way possible. And there's been a lot of similarities made with now and World War II, and the things that happened to our country at that time. Completely different reasons and a completely different way. But it was also about making sure that we held on to that thoughtful side of us, and remember to be kind to each other, and remember to look out for each other. And it will be no different this Friday. And there would have been celebrations out in the streets, and at school we'd have been getting ready for it as well. Unfortunately, we cannot do those things now. But I know there's a chance where people will be trying to do things to mark that day in some way, even if it's not quite the way that we wanted to do it. So it might be that you get hold of a template like this, which is the Union Jack, and we call this bunting. And you could colour it in and cut it out, and then thread it all together and turn it into a string of celebration of the end of World War II, and tie them all together and then hang them maybe on your front door or from your bedrooms, and turn it into a celebration through the use of bunting. Lots of templates online, really easy to find, and a really simple thing that you could do. And also, Bletchley Park, which is not too far from us in Northamptonshire, they've got a whole website set up around Victory in Europe Day. And if you go on there, you'll find lots and lots of different activities. Here's one. They've put up some anagrams that you could have a go at. Can you unscramble these words to find their hidden meaning? Hint at the bottom if you're not sure. He made a national radio broadcast on VE Day. And they've got lots of little activities that you can have a go at. And those activities culminate in even having a go at Morse Code. And Morse Code became something very, very important during World War II, because it was a way of sending messages that the other people couldn't understand. It was a way of confusing people and trying to catch them out and to keep things hidden and not share what we were doing, because that would have meant that it would have put us in danger. And you can have a go on the Bletchley Park website and see if you can work out the Morse code. However, it's not Morse code that I want you to be trying to focus on this week. In fact, I don't want you to be trying to hide it at all. What I want you to try to do is to show each other in your households and your friends and family where you can actually how thoughtful you can be. Because I think that's going to be very important as we move forward. So this week, I really want you to still stay at home and stay safe. I want you to think of the others close to you. Try and remember where you can those who helped us take us to victory during World War II. And also really, really focus on being thoughtful this week. So everybody, stay safe, take care, have a thoughtful week, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye for now.